What's up, guys, and welcome back to Tommy Talks and episode number 2. We're going to try and roll on with this series a bit and try and keep it going. But obviously, a lot of people have been asking me, where have I been, what have I been doing, where are the videos, where's career mode, etc, etc. So we're going to try and summarize this in this video. Now, my exams have officially finished today, so as of right now, most of the heavy work is done. I'm not out of the woods just yet. I've still got a few more things to get through, a bit of coursework and a few presentations, but the gist of it is that now I am finished. So I can try and get back on videos. So I was planning on coming back next Tuesday or Wednesday, more or less, but I probably can pull it off now. So I'm going to keep my word and I'm going to try and stick to it. So video today, another one tomorrow, and so on and so on. We're going to try and roll with this and try and get back on the daily upload. So those of you who have been wondering where have I gone, and those of you who wanted content of mine, then look forward to it. There's going to be loads of new content on the channel. When I properly finish, in less than a week, in about 5 days, when I properly finish, I'm going to then start working on trying to branch out to fresh series, bring in some mods, and also bring in some new series to the channel besides career mode and co-op to try and freshen up a bit and try and bring some different content to you guys. But first things first, I do want to say, if you don't follow me on Twitter, then you probably should. It's down this side here, down there, I think. So do follow me on Twitter down there. I do honestly recommend it, because if you want to ask me anything, then that's the place to be. Like for every single one of these videos, I will do a Q&A at the end, and you can ask me these questions on Twitter exclusively. So do go follow me on there. But I'm not going to ramble on for long, so we're going to sort of bring it down to a few points. So basically, long story short, I am back. Expect videos on the channel coming soon. I'm going to try and keep it going daily for as long as I can. Really, from this point onwards, there's no real major thing coming up. I've still got I've got things like work experience, end of year projects in June, but more or less I can sort of, juggle and maintain that. So I should be able to produce daily uploads for you guys. So I'm looking forward to that. There's going to be plenty of content on the channel, and yeah, it's going to be now I'd say this is when 2018 starts for me, because I knew when the new year started. It's a very short second year. I'm in a course of tourism, so the second year is very short. It finishes now in like late February. So basically, that's what I'm here to announce. So I'm looking forward to putting out plenty of content on the channel for you guys, and we're going to try and kick this channel into high gear. I'm pretty close to 14,000 subscribers. I should hit that maybe sometime next week, and I'm looking to hit 15,000 not too long after that. So we're going to try and crack on with it. The target for this year is 25k subscribers. But I want to talk to you guys about a few things. So obviously the F1 season is just around the corner. We've already had the Haas and the Williams cars be released. Make of them what you will, opinion wise. I thought they were both pretty alright. The Williams was as you can tell by the tweet on screen right now, I'll show you, I had my view, and a lot of people seem to agree with me pretty much. Obviously, it's not entirely like that, but you get the gist. A bit of a joke, but the way that tweet went down, a lot of people seem to be already, I think the spirit of F1 is starting to kick in. Like, the new season's coming, and everyone gets excited, and the interest in F1 picks up a bit. So looking forward to that. Pretty much me coming back to YouTube properly now with the F1 season starting. That's going to be a nice sort of way to push the channel forward. But I'm looking forward to it. Let me know in the comments down below, guys, your thoughts on the upcoming season of F1 and a little bit of what you think is going to happen this year with all the respective teams. But I'm not going to ramble on too long. All I will say is this: I'm going to plug the Pitlane Podcast once again. We did the first episode about 10 to 12 days ago, I believe, and we was talking about Liberty Media. Are they changing things in F1 for the sake of changing it for no apparent reason? And sort of answering a few debates and just rumours and questions and what people generally say about the world of F1 over the winter. We're looking to really push the podcast this year. Like I said in the first episode, looking to really push the podcast as a big project of ours, and we're now on iTunes besides already being on SoundCloud, so you guys should definitely go check that one out. There'll be links down below all over the description for you guys to go check that one out. But I definitely urge you to go over there and check that one out and get subscribed on our channel, and also follow us on iTunes, give us a rating and all that good stuff. But now it's time for that part in the video where I answer all of your Twitter questions. So we're going to jump straight into it and see what you guys have had to ask me in this short period of time. I've got quite a few questions, to be fair, so we're going to try and rattle through these as quick as possible. Now, some of these questions don't have to be F1 related. If you guys want to get in touch, like I said, at Tom87HD, do follow me on there and ask me anything you want. It doesn't have to be F1 related. I'm very open on this series, and you can ask me anything you want. So first question is from Benna Phoenix, and he asks, what do I think of the news in 2019 that there will be a Moto E Championship. So essentially, if you guys don't know, we obviously have F1 and Formula E, which is electric version, pretty much. And in MotoGP, it was announced recently that they will also have the electric version of motorbikes in 2019. I'd say I'm all for it. I don't really watch Formula E. I probably won't watch Moto E, to be fair. Just because I just prefer the actual MotoGP sport itself. I'm just not keen on electric sports just yet. The same reason why I watch F1 over Formula E. But they could definitely, maybe with the concept of it, I think there could be much more of a likening to MotoGP and the actual sport itself, whereas Formula E is quite a bit different to F1 in terms of they only race on street tracks, and the power deficit is definitely much smaller in Moto E than it is in Formula E. So it's a bit of a different situation. So I'll give it a try. I'll try and watch it, see what I think, because I do want to get into motorbike racing a lot more this year. I'm a big fan of MotoGP, but I do want to try and watch it a bit more this year and follow it a bit more closely. So yeah, to answer your question, Moto E is something that I will be following hopefully in 2019. Next up, Sad, I'm going to say, hopefully I didn't bottle that. He asks, which driver do I support from the current grid? And if not, then who is the best between them? I don't actually support anyone. I was a Michael Schumacher fan. I'm not a guy who believes in supporting different drivers and sort of jumping across. I purely watch F1 from a neutral perspective. I do have a sort of leniency towards Ferrari, but it's nothing major. And to be fair, there's too many drivers that I can name. Just off the top of my head, I quite like Ricciardo because he's just a genuinely funny guy. And I met him and he was great. He even cracked a joke, which you'll see here. And just a top guy. He's a really, really good guy, nice guy. And probably Ricciardo. Also, I think there are some other guys who also, I think Alonso as well. I mean, also met him. He was pretty like a good guy as well, and someone who I'd like to obviously. I respect his racecraft and just his general racing ability. I think he's a brilliant competitor. So I've got a lot of respect for Alonso as well. And just overall, there's lots of drivers I like, to be fair. I'm not going to name them all, but I also like Jenson Button a lot when he was racing. And I'm just quite simple. As a neutral, F1's quite good to watch, to be fair. The next question is quite an interesting one from Jordan, and he asks, if I could compete in the Winter Olympics, what event would I do and why? It's pretty simple for me because I've not really done that many of the sports that are there, so I'd probably just do either skiing or snowboarding. I've never actually been snowboarding before, but I've been skiing, and I do really enjoy skiing. So probably one of those two, try and get better at it, to be honest with you. But yeah, I like skiing, and that's something, to be fair, I'd like to get back into if I had the chance to, albeit it's a very expensive thing to do. Next up, Henry asks, which non-F1 race would I like to attend the most? That's quite an interesting question, to be fair, and I don't really have a straight up brilliant answer because I'm not really massive on endurance racing or Formula E. I'd say there's a better chance of me going to other sports. So if it's not F1, which is what the question asks, I'd probably like to go to like a tennis match or a football match, to be honest. If we're talking about motorsport without it being F1, then I'd probably go to a MotoGP race, and I'd probably go to somewhere, to be fair, I don't really have a preference on track. All the tracks on the MotoGP calendar are pretty good in my opinion. But, because it's close to where I live, I'd probably just go to like Catalonia or Aragon, any of those tracks, Jerez, because they're in the same country where I live. But I'd probably go to a MotoGP event. If it wasn't motorsport, it would probably be a football match. But obviously I support Chelsea and they're in the UK, so that's kind of hard. But yeah, football matches, tennis, I'm quite flexible. I quite enjoy different sports as well. Next up, Brandon asks, do I think any Formula E drivers will make it to Formula 1? I don't watch Formula E that much, to be honest, so I don't really know the entire grid. I do wonder why Felix Rosenqvist has never been, mentioned for a seat, because he's a guy that's proven himself in pretty much every form of motorsport, except for a select few, so I think he's a guy that can do it all, so I'd like to see him maybe one day racing Formula 1. Also, I would like to see John-Eric Verne get another crack of the whip, and I think, off the top of my head, I can't really think of that many, to be fair. Joel asks, which team do I think would be the most surprising in 2018 and which one will be the most disappointing in reference to F1? It's quite an interesting question, to be fair. I did talk about this in the podcast, but in terms of the most surprising, I would say I think Renault could be a dark horse this year. I would not discount Renault. They are a manufacturer, so they could do something special. And I think a disappointment, if you want to class it as a disappointment, I think if Honda don't get their act together, I think Toro Rosso could find themselves at the back of the grid, because I think Alfa Romeo have done a great job with the Ferrari assistants to try and get themselves out of a situation with Sauber. So, yeah, I think Toro Rosso could be a disappointment this year. The next question from Cyprian is quite a long one, but he asked, do I think YouTubers like myself, Callum and Arav can help make F1 more fun, mixing F1 knowledge and entertainment, or would I rather keep it serious? Now, it's quite an interesting question, to be fair. There's two sides of the coin on this argument, because you can definitely make F1 videos fun, and there are those out there who do them if you do look for the right people. Personally, it's not something that I would do, to be honest, because that's just not me. You know, you're not going to make videos and be funny if you're not actually, you know, that much of a funny person or that can crack jokes that easily. So it's sort of a bit awkward. Also, realistically, there isn't a great amount to do in the F1 game in terms of what's available to you. So the content that's produced is very limited. But I would definitely be open to trying stuff in the future. Even if I could collaborate with something, you know, some sort of different projects. But I have thought about it before, and to be fair, I think there is a gap in the market for it. So, you know, if anyone's watching this and, you know, you think you've got it, then make a channel, put some funny content. If it's good enough, people will come to you. So, there you go. So yeah, that's all the questions I have for today. I don't want to go on too long. I hope you guys have enjoyed this episode of Tommy Talks. Like I said, I'll try and do more of these, maybe 1 or 2 a month. I don't want to do too many. It's sort of one of them series where I want to just sort of keep it somewhat of a temporary, sort of do it not so frequently series, something a little bit different to break the ice for you guys. But if you have enjoyed it, then please do give the video a thumbs up. Also, let me know, you know, topics you want me to talk about in these videos in the comments down below. Very much sort of like, you know, talking about things. Maybe it doesn't have to be F1 related, you know, anything you guys want to know. And also, like I said, follow me on Twitter to get in touch, ask me questions. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So hopefully you have enjoyed the video. If you have, then slap a like on the episode. Let's try and smash 200 likes on this, maybe. Possibly. It's going to be hard because people don't watch these sort of videos, but I'm trying to break into this sort of niche of style of videos. So hopefully you guys can appreciate that. But yeah, 200 likes possibly, that's going to be the target. Also, do check out the videos on screen here and here to see more content from myself, and there should be plenty more to come very soon. But other than that, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.